Welcome, quilters. Let's take a look at the pointed leaf oval. This is a highly versatile tool, comes in 2 different sizes, and boy do I have fun with it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at how we're going to create some block designs using the pointed leaf oval. Now it comes in 2 different sizes. This is the original and this is number 2. So they work the same. I'm going to use both of them for different projects just so you can see how they both work out. I hope you can find all kinds of lovely designs using these tools. We're going to concentrate today on block designs. So I have used a stencil and put in an 8-point grid to start with. So if you don't already have those lines, you may want to use a stencil. They're called crosshairs. Whatever works best for you, rulers. I like to work especially with blank blocks and filling in the designs with the quilting. So I have used a 8-point grid and drawn in my lines. Now, tool comes with our lovely easy to see lines, and you have a total of 4 different arcs on here. It will create a chain design, but the chain designs we'll talk about at a later time. We're going, and in a different video, we're going to talk about right now the different block designs you can create. So to do that, I am going to play with my largest opening right here. I'm going to hook my tool up on the foot, and I am going to align those easy to see lines on the lines that I've drawn into my quilt. I'm going to stitch from one edge up to the top. I'm going to bring my template around, hook it, and flip it over to the other side. Line it up on the lines that are on my quilt and stitch back to the center. One pointed leaf. Let's do this 8 more times. Rotate to the next axis. This time it's going to be a diagonal. I'm going to stitch out. Slide the template around, hook it onto the foot, line it up, and return. Alright, I'm going to keep going around. Now I'm on the horizontal. Note that I'm moving my template to where it needs to be on the fabric and not moving my fabric. Well, yes, I'm demonstrating on a smaller piece. Could be something that I'm going to do as a quilt as you go. If I'm working on a larger piece, I don't want to be moving my fabric through this opening here. So get into the habit, regardless of the size that you are working on, of moving your template and not your fabric. So as you can see, a very lovely design. So now let's talk about this design a little bit. Needless to say, if it's on a 6-point, it's going to be a little bit more open. But here's a lovely thought for you to look at. If you can notice that this 8-point is a round design. If I were to use 2 different sizes of a template at the same time, this is still an 8-point. This one uses all the same size. This one uses larger ones on the diagonals and smaller ones on the crosshairs. You can see that this design is more square looking. So it gives you a different look and something to consider. Sometimes this will be design you have. Maybe it's a square that you thought was a little bigger than it was and it fitted on the diagonal, but when you went to put it on the vertical and the horizontal, it didn't fit, so you had to go to a smaller design. This will fill the square more. This will be round and you'll have those open corners a little bit more. All decides on what you want to do with your quilt. As I said, there's two different sizes. This one is pointed leaf oval number 2. It is the largest of the design of the openings. This is pointed leaf oval number 1, also with the largest of the openings. So it all depends on what you want to do, what it will look best on your quilt. You have many options for adding on. So here I've done an 8-point grid, and I have taken, this is the larger of the two, pointed leaf oval number 2. I've used the larger opening, but out here I decided to put the smallest opening. So I came out, then I changed to the smaller size, came in, and just basically did all 4 before returning to the center with the largest opening, going to the next design and throwing in just a single one because it wouldn't fit. And you can see how you have options for variations for creating different designs. Let's look at a 6-point grid. Both of these were done with the larger pointed leaf number 2. This one here is working with all 4 sizes, but this is the large and the second smallest. This is the second largest and the smallest. So instead of putting them on all 6 axes, all 4 sizes, I mixed and matched to get the different look. Here, it is all 6 axes, take all 4 sizes. Now it is a stunning look, a great design, but I am putting a lot of thread through the middle. If that's what you like, then by all means go for it. If you don't like that, consider putting less sizes or different sizes on different axes. It all comes down to what do you like to do. Now, I've had a lot of questions, a design that I created at one of the shows, and people have been asking how to do this. So I want to show this to you. I do play with my templates, and this is where I find a lot of my designs, so I'm really stressing that you should sit down and play with your templates. This was done using pointed leaf oval number 1, and it all uses this size. So let's see how that's done. You're going to start with this design right here, and I do stitch all of the outside first. Then once I'm in the center, let's get myself back into the center. I'm still going to use only the largest size. And once I've got it all completed, what I'm going to do is remember a same set of reference points. Now you can use your own. This is the one that I came upon. This is what I remember to do and how I do it. The trick to anything, any of the designs that you create, is finding a set of registration marks and using them consistently. So for this design, I'm going to use, for most of it, this set of easy to see lines right here. I'm going to use it 3 times, and then I'll use this one on the 4th time. So this was the stitch line. We've already done all 8. So now we're going to fill in the petals. To do this, I'm keeping my foot, my template against my foot, and I'm going to pivot on my foot. And I'm going to slide my template until that first easy to see line is on the stitched outer portion of the leaf. Now I'm going to follow the path my template has provided. I'm going to stop when I get to the outside stitched line. Now you have two options at this point. You can either stitch down the line that you have already stitched on, over stitching it or double stitching it, however you want to refer to it. Or you can create a jump stitch. For those of you who have watched me stitching, you know that I have a hard time following anything without a template. And I don't want to lose the position that my template is in. So I personally prefer jump stitches. So I'm going to raise and lower my foot a couple of times to lock in the stitch, and then I'm going to raise it and slide down about how far I think I need to go. Better to overslide than underslide. So now, here's the tricky part. You want to make sure you stay pivoted on this center area, but you've got nothing there to hold it. So I like to use those template testers we give you, and I'll throw it in here, and I'll use it as a stationary spot to help hold my template in the center. I'm going to rotate my template over till once again, this easy to see line, this top one, is on my last stitched line. I'm going to bring my foot to my template and drop my needle. Move the template tester out of there so that your foot can get back where it belongs. And once or twice up and down with your needle to lock in your stitch, and then stitch back to the center. If you need to make an adjustment, go ahead. Now, next one. This is one, there's two. Number 3, you're going to, again, pivot on the foot until this easy to see line is on your last stitch line. Stitch out to the outer stitches. All right, I'm going to put in another jump stitch, slide it down, and throw in my template tester to hold my place. Now, you will see that as I pivot the template, my easy to see line is no longer going to be on any of those lines. That's why I'm switching to this one down here. And again, I'm going to stop when the last of the easy to see line color is on the last stitch line. Move my foot to my template, drop my needle up and down a couple of times to create a jump stitch and lock in that stitch. Move my template tester and stitch back to the center. Isn't that just lovely? Now, let's go ahead and do the rest of those. This was the original idea that I had in my head. So as you can see, I'm going down on one side and down the other way. So these are curved all out and to the left, and these are all curved out and to the right. And then in the center, you have that line that the original was on, and I just went to that point and then brought it down. This was the original goal. The first time I tried to do this, I lost track of where I was. And so I decided to cross-hatch 4 of them. And I thought that looked pretty good too. So sometimes a mistake can show you a new design. Again, you will see there is a lot of thread that goes through the center because I come back to the center 4 times 8, 24 times, plus the 8 times that I did it around in the first place. So that's a lot of thread in there. But to be quite frank, I like the design, so I don't mind there being a lot of thread. I hope you enjoyed this. I want to encourage you to try different designs, different variations. Use an 8-point, use a 4-point, use a 6-point. Try different sizes of the same tool. Both the Pointed Leaf Oval 2 and the Pointed Leaf Oval 3 come in all 3 thicknesses. So 1/4 inch acrylics are for the long armors, and some high shank machines. I'm on a Bernina machine, so I use 1/4" acrylic, as that's what they recommend. 3/16 is good for some high shank machines and some low shanks. For instance, I know the Baby Lock recommend 3/16 for their low shank machines. And 1/8 inch is for the low shank machines, very low shank like some of the Brother machines, Pfaff and Viking, and most definitely Singer. Don't forget, you always need a ruler foot on your machine. I hope you enjoyed all of these block designs. I hope you're inspired to come up with lots of variations, and I would love to see them. Happy quilting, ladies and gentlemen, and have fun designing.